The lesson.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about just the way Koolism all came about, because you guys, were around. Was it the early 90s or mid 90s?
Yeah, I mean, myself and Daniel, we first met in 92.
Now, just real quick, correct me if I'm wrong. Before that, was it you and your?
It was myself, Daniel, and my cousin.
Okay.
And we had, because I was actually rapping with my cousin at the time, and we were looking for someone to produce the music, and a mutual and acquaintance said, "Oh yeah, I know this kid. He's making beats at the moment." And I was like, "Oh yeah," and he actually an actual beat tape, passed on the tape, and I pressed play. I was like, "Man, these beats are mad. Who is this guy?" And yeah, it was Daniel, and we met around 92. We put out a little tape that was just locally available in Canberra. But then Koolism didn't really. It wasn't Koolism till around sort of late 90s, so maybe like 95, 6, something like that. So my cousin went back to Tonga to live, and Daniel and I stuck together, and yeah, around I think our first tape as Koolism was around 95, 96, and then the vinyl started coming out from then on.
Now, I heard an interesting story.
Here we go.
Yeah, no, that's why I love these interviews, because I get to clarify. And tell me which is right, which is wrong. It could all be wrong. That there was an incident where Daniel's son's record collection got stolen.
All right.
And you guys had to actually make your record from sampling cassettes or something like that.
I mean, I love how these kind of rumors develop over the years.
Time. So tell us.
It's partially true. Well, we had done a show in the Blue Mountains, which is just outside of Sydney, and we drove back, and it's maybe 3 hours. So we were like, oh man, we had dropped Daniel off, my girlfriend and I, somewhere. So it was just my girlfriend and I in the car, and had gear in the car, and we got back like mad early in the morning, and just couldn't be stuffed lugging at all. So we left it in the car, which obviously in hindsight is the worst idea ever. But it was in a secure car park in her apartment block. So I was thinking, man, well, surely you'll be all right. Went up, had a sleep. I think she went to go to work or something the next day, and she rings up crying. I'm like, shit, what's going on? Oh, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, no,
I was like, man, what happened? And she's like, the glass is broken everywhere, and people have stolen the gear. And his heart just sank. And I was like, oh, man. So, yeah, what had happened, obviously someone broke in, and they took, luckily, only the stuff was in the back seat. In the boot was like the MPC and racks and stuff that were actually, to someone that's not into records, would have been more valuable, to sell. Maybe they did see it and it was thought, I'm not liking this gear. So they just ended up stealing like bags. But those bags were far more valuable than the equipment, because it had rare records and it had zip discs for the MPC that we had been making our album on, and so all of that had gone. I felt so bad. Like, Daniel never really let me have it. Like, he never was like, oh, you're an idiot. You knew you shouldn't have. He was just kind of like, all right. But I knew that he was spewing. And I was spewing. I was disappointed in myself. But yeah, so that got stolen. But no, we didn't make the album from just sampling cassettes. We tried to remake by memory what we had already made, which was a pain in the ass. And sometimes that's even better.
Because it comes out better the second
time
around.
You just try different things and just come across different things, and sometimes it's for the better.
Now, Canberra's not only in Aussie hip hop, but just geographically, I always feel that Canberra's just a little bit isolated.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, back then, man, it was crazy. Now it's not so much. But back then, man, I had to. Before we had proper shops that would have imports, I would have to catch a bus to Sydney. I would save my money, get a bus ticket, catch it at 6:30 in the morning, go to Sydney, spend the whole day shopping, like clothes, records, and then catch the last bus back. And that made me really appreciate the music I was buying, you know what I mean? And back then too, it was awesome. There were hubs, record stores where you could go there, and someone else would be there, and you'd be looking at him like, "Who's that guy?" And then someone was like, "Oh yeah, that's Sarek from Death Wish Cast." And, oh shit, you know, and you would meet a lot of people, and it'd be a great space to meet like-minded people. But yeah, Canberra was really isolated. But I think that's what really gave us, really inspired us to work on our art and craft, you know, because I would play sports, you know, during the winter, and you wouldn't do anything else because Canberra was so cold. So you would just go to someone's house, like party, or just like record music and work on music. And again, we had to catch buses to Sydney to do a show to like 10 people, whatever. And it was definitely, it was a beautiful time, man, because even though, you know, the exposure and the money wasn't there as it is today for a lot of artists, it was just really genuine, you know. It was an awesome time meeting these people, and then, you know, even coming here for the first time, meeting the hoods, like, oh, yeah, you guys rap too, you know, because you'd hear about them and maybe hear a song or two, but it's not like now with the internet where everything is accessible.
The lesson. 927. Oh yeah.